So one of the things that they talked about the other night in terms of the debate was the immigration problem. And I got to tell you, the answers that Tim Walz gave in defense of Kamala Harris were absolutely atrocious. Let me explain it, because that side will literally ignore the results of Kamala Harris being vice president and being the border czar and focus on the fact that they're working on some bill to fix the border. This is the dumbest thing, and it's serious. They have let 20 to 25 million illegal immigrants in the country, over 1 million criminals. 13,099 so far have been convicted of homicide. 15,811 have been convicted of sexual assault. 425,000 of them have been convicted of some kind of crime. And that's not counting all of the people who've been convicted of a crime or criminals in Mexico and then came over. So those are their stats. Really good stats, guys. I don't even know how they allowed Tim Walz to talk on this, but they asked him a couple of times, well, what are you doing about it? That's the wrong question. The question should have been, why did you get rid of all of Trump's policies when you guys got into office? And essentially said, come on in. The damage is done. You guys sit there and you talk about, oh, well, we got this bipartisan bill. It's because you have no choice. Now you're doing something because there's an election coming up and you want to act like you're actually going to do something. You know what's going to happen if Kamala gets back in there? She's just going to open them up more. Don't believe me? They sent bulldozers down to the border to cut through wire fence to let people in. If they're doing that now, but they're pitching that they're worried about the southern border, that they're worried about the immigration issue, how can we take them serious? This is absolutely ridiculous. And in my opinion, Kamala Harris should be charged. She facilitated an invasion of this country. Facilitated it, not just let it happen. She facilitated it. Is that something anybody is okay with in America? Even the people on the left. You're fighting for jobs with an illegal immigrant, wherever it is, a food shop, a Starbucks, wherever. Are you okay with that? And I know people are gonna say, oh, well, everybody's a person and everybody matters. Sure, everyone matters. But dude, until we take care of ourselves and our country, we can't let anybody in. So I want everybody to ask themselves a simple question. Do you think anybody in the world should be able to look up where you live, your address, your phone numbers, your relatives, your associates, even your emails? My answer is a gigantic no. Privacy is something that I think isn't valued enough nowadays. And it's why I'm honored to have Delete Me on this channel and sponsoring this video. I've been using their service personally for about 5 months, and they have pretty much removed me from all listing sites. They make opt-out requests on your behalf to data brokers. I just got my last report in. I'm essentially on none of these websites anymore. And they do it all for an extremely low price. So Delete Me is giving you the same deal they gave me. There's gonna be a link and code below the video. Go make sure your privacy is protected. 20 to 25 million people that have came into this country is a staggering number. Let me just put this in perspective. So there's 330 million people in this country, around there. 25 million out of that is 13.2%. That is a huge, huge number. It's not 0.5%. It's not 1%. It's 13.2%. If somebody came to you today and said, hey, I'm gonna take 13.2% of your check away for the next 4 years, you'd be pissed. We'd all be pissed. If somebody said, you know what, I'm gonna add on 13.2% a month to your mortgage payment, we'd all be pissed. But for some reason in this country, I don't know. Honestly, it's for one reason, and I know why they've done this. They let all these people in and then they make the claim of, well, are you gonna separate mothers and fathers from their kids? Dude, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. If you came here illegally and you brought a kid or you had a kid here, whatever, and you get separated, dude, that's on you. That's a bad parenting decision. That's not on us. And that may be insensitive, but dude, this is a humongous amount of people. And the reason why they did this is obvious. One, they don't want America to be America anymore. And two, and more importantly, they look at all of them like they're voters. We can just give them citizenship. We can give them a green card. We can give them whatever we need to give them in order for them to be able to vote. And then they're going to vote for us because we let them in. We gave them the American dream. I mean, listen to the press secretary.
15,000 people who have been convicted of murder crossed the border illegally and are living among us. So how much danger are U.S. communities in right now because of this?
I'm assuming you're talking about the ICE data?
Yes.
So just a couple of things, and I think it's important to correct the record here. First of all, the false representation of the data ICE shared. So that was what we are seeing, false representation. I got to call that out. We got to call that out. And it's been fact-checked by some of your colleagues here, by multiple outlets that has been debunked on what has been falsely misrepresented here. So we have to call that out. And so, look,
can you clarify what the misrepresentation is?
The numbers that is being put out about how many people are out has been falsely represented here. If you look at the total returns and removal of the past year, that has been higher than every year under the previous administration since 2010, if you look at it. And if we're going to report something, a data that's out there, we got to do it in a way that is not confusing the American people and certainly not lying. And so this has been fact-checked, and so this is the way that is being falsely represented here is just not okay.
You know, you got a lot of stones to say that this is being falsely represented. It's not. What's being falsely represented? That there's 19 million people that came through instead of 20 million? Oh my God, wow, what a difference. We are talking about the amount of people in Texas, almost, that have been let through the border in 4 fucking years. And somehow we're not being truthful about all this stuff. If Kamala gets in there, this country will be flooded with people, if it isn't already.